You're 65. You've just retired. You finally have the time to travel, to read more, to spend precious moments with your grandchildren. Life should be opening up. But somewhere, quietly, a clock is ticking. Your knees ache, get tired after a short walk. Your doctor mentioned pre-diabetes at your last checkup. You wonder, is this just aging or something else? Now imagine this, a 93-year-old woman in Okinawa, Japan. She wakes up at 5 a.m. She stretches, sweeps the garden, walks to the local market, and carries groceries back on foot. Her skin glows with health, her mind is sharp, and her laughter echoes like someone half her age. What's her secret? It's not a supplement, it's not a gym membership, it's one simple change she made decades ago that you can still make today. And the science says it could add 10 extra years to your life after the age of 60. Stay with me, because this one habit is quietly saving lives around the world, and chances are you're ignoring it every single day. Let's begin where most stories of aging end, the doctor's office, every year. Millions of older adults are prescribed medications for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or diabetes. The underlying cause? Often, it comes down to diet. Not just how much you eat, but what you eat. In the West, we've been raised on meat-heavy meals, bacon and eggs for breakfast, sandwiches stacked with cold cuts for lunch, steak or burgers. For dinner, meat is seen as strength, vitality, energy. But here's the truth you might not know. The countries with the longest living populations eat drastically less meat and a lot more plant-based proteins. These people aren't surviving. They're thriving. They're doing it without complicated meal plans or expensive health fads. The common thread, one specific change. They replaced red meat with legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, soy, tofu, black beans, mung beans. Simplest foods from the earth, most overlooked superfoods. It might sound too basic, too easy, but in study after study from Harvard to the World Health Organization, one thing keeps showing up. Older adults who eat legumes regularly live longer, get sick less often, and stay independent into their 80s and 90s. So why don't more people make the switch? Because we underestimate the power of the ordinary. We think health comes in pills, powders, and miracle cures. We forget that the simplest choices like swapping a beef patty for a lentil burger can rewrite the course of our lives. Let me tell you about Mr. James, man I met during my research. He's 68, lives in Arizona, former construction worker. Used to think salads were rabbit food. 2 years ago, after his second minor stroke, his daughter begged him to change how he eats. He rolled his eyes, but she challenged him to do one thing: eat beans instead of meat at lunch. It sounded silly, but he agreed. Tacos with black beans instead of beef. Lentil soup instead of chili. A tofu stir-fry twice a week. He didn't expect much. But within 3 months, something changed. His blood pressure dropped. Lost 15 pounds. He stopped needing naps in the afternoon. His cholesterol numbers improved without medication. Here's the kicker. He started to feel young again. His words, not mine. I didn't know food could give me energy back. This isn't a miracle story. It's biology. It's what your body wants to do when you feed it right. And if you're thinking, isn't it too late for me? Let me be clear, it is never too late. In a groundbreaking study published in Nature Food, scientists found that even adults over 60 who shifted toward a plant-based diet gained 8 to 10 more years of healthy life expectancy compared to those who didn't change their eating habits at all. That means a simple bowl of lentils could be worth a decade of your life. Let that sink in. We're not talking about cutting calories or going vegan overnight. Just one small change. Eating legumes daily. Something your grandparents probably did out of tradition. Something your body will thank you for every day you grow older. So what happens when entire communities build their meals around this idea? In the next part of this journey, we'll visit the blue zones, those rare places in the world where people regularly live past 100. Without chronic illness or decline, you'll hear stories of people in their 80s hiking mountains, dancing, growing food and, yes, eating beans every single day. Because the truth is, the diet that keeps you young, it has been here all along. If you look closely at the map of the world, you'll notice 5 tiny pockets that seem to defy biology. They're called blue zones regions, where people live noticeably longer and healthier than the rest of the planet. In these zones, people don't just exist into old age, they live with purpose, movement, and joy well into their 90s and beyond. And guess what's sitting at the heart of every single one of their kitchens? Beans. Yes, beans. In Okinawa, Japan, the elderly eat tofu and sweet potatoes daily. In Sardinia, Italy, it's minestrone soup filled with fava beans. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, it's black beans and rice with almost every meal. In Loma Linda, California, community of long-living Seventh-day Adventists sits lentils, chickpeas, and soy. These aren't luxury foods. They're not rare superfoods. They're simple, affordable, and quietly powerful. And they all share one incredible effect. They slow aging at the cellular level, something modern medicine is only beginning to understand. Let's take a closer look at Okinawa, Japan. This island used to have the highest concentration of centenarians in the world. Women in their 90s could still bend to tend their gardens. Men over 85 still rode bicycles to the village market. There were no nursing homes because families didn't need them. Their secret? A diet rich in plant-based proteins especially. Soy-based foods like tofu, miso, and natto, combined with green leafy vegetables, seaweed, and turmeric, meat, rare, sugar, almost non-existent. They followed a philosophy called Harahachi-bu, eat until you're 80% full. Just about portion control, it was about respecting food and treating meals as nourishment. It's not entertainment. One Okinawan woman, 102 years old, told a journalist, "We don't eat to be full, we eat to live long." And she's been doing that her entire life with tofu. In nearly every dish now shift to Sardinia, at least specifically, the mountain villages of the island's interior. Here, shepherds walk steep hills, well into their 80s and 90s. Families eat together daily. And the food is simple. Bread made with barley, goat cheese, red wine, and, yes, hearty bean stews passed down from their grandmothers. There's a local saying, "A bowl of beans a day keeps the doctor away." They mean it. Lentils and fava. Beans are staples, not side dishes. One of the most surprising findings from Sardinia was that men and women live equally long, which is rare, as women usually outlive men by several years. Researchers believe this equality is largely tied to diet and daily movement. But what makes beans so special? Let's break it down. 1. High in fiber. Beans help stabilize blood sugar, lower cholesterol, and improve gut health, all crucial factors in aging too. Rich in plant-based protein, perfect for maintaining muscle mass after 60. Without the inflammation, risks tied to red and processed meats. 3. Full of antioxidants. Protect your cells from oxidative damage, the very damage that accelerates aging and disease. 4. Low in calories, high in satiety. You eat less, feel full longer, and avoid the blood sugar spikes that trigger fatigue and cravings. And unlike meat, beans don't feed inflammation. In fact, they fight it. That's key. Chronic inflammation is a silent killer linked to heart disease, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and more. Beans are nature's quiet warriors against it. Now back to the U.S., where Loma Linda, California stands out like a shining light here. A community of Seventh-day Adventists has some of the longest life expectancy in the country. They follow a largely vegetarian lifestyle, grounded in faith, community, and clean eating. And their diets? You guessed it, beans, beans, beans in Loma Linda. It's common to see 90-year-olds jogging, volunteering, cooking for others. They age, yes, but they don't decline the way we often expect in Western culture. A quote from Dr. Michael Greger, public health advocate, sums it up. The most important decision you make every day may be what you eat for your next meal. Here's the emotional core of this story. This is not about adding years for the sake of numbers. It's about adding life to your years. A man in Sardinia said it best. "I want to dance at my granddaughter's wedding. I want to pick olives with my son. I want to remember the sound of the rain and feel grateful for it. That's the real reward of eating well after 16, not just surviving longer, but truly living every day. So why don't we do it? Because many of us grew up being told beans are peasant food, because meat is marketed as strength, because we don't. Realize we have the power to change Evan late in life, but you do, right now, starting today, one meal at a time. You don't have to move to Okinawa or Sardinia. You just have to start replacing meat with beans. This could be one lunch a day, a new recipe on Sunday nights. It's a slow, steady shift. In your body, it will thank you. It's more energy, less pain, better sleep, sharper focus. Maybe even another 10 years to love, to move, to be present. In the final part of this journey, we'll explore real transformations from people just like you. You'll hear how one small dietary change turned around the health of a 72-year-old grandmother in Texas, a retired mechanic in Canada, and a widower who found hope again through food. And we'll finish with a message one you deserve to hear, no matter your age. Let me tell you a story. Her name is Darlene, 72, a retired nurse from Austin, Texas. When her husband passed away, everything stopped: her energy, her appetite, her will to care for herself. She stopped cooking and relied on frozen meals and fast food to get through the day. 6 months later, she was diagnosed with high blood pressure and to boots. Her joints hurt. She felt heavy all the time, not just in her body, but in her heart. Then one day her granddaughter came over with a warm bowl of lentil soup. Just lentils, carrots, a little cumin and garlic. "Grandma," she said, "I made this at school. Try it." That night, Darlene slept better than she had in months. It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't a cure. But it was a beginning. One small change. One new habit. One spark. Within a few weeks, Darlene started making her own versions. Chickpea stews, tofu stir-fries, black bean tacos. Not every meal, but enough to notice. Her energy returned. Her blood pressure dropped. She started walking her dog again, just around the block at first, then further. She started smiling again, and this is the beautiful truth we keep forgetting. Your body wants to heal. It remembers what it's like to feel good. It's waiting for you to give it the chance. Let's meet Henry, 76-year-old widower in Toronto. After his wife died, Henry lost all structure. Meals became whatever was fast. He developed gout, chronic inflammation, and constant fatigue. Doctors kept giving him pills, but nothing changed until his doctor said something that stuck with him. If you want to feel alive again, start by changing what's on your plate. Henry didn't go vegan. He didn't go extreme. He simply swapped beef for beans twice a day. That's it. 3 months later, he called his daughter in tears, not because he was hurting, but because he wasn't anymore. "I feel like I'm coming back," he said. This story isn't about perfection. It's not about trends or restrictions. It's about a shift in mindset from surviving to living, from aging by default to aging on purpose. And if you're watching this now, wondering if it's too late for you, let me answer with love: no. It is not too late, because your body responds to what you feed it, because your cells are always regenerating, because every meal is a chance to give yourself life, not just time. What can you do today? Right now. Here's a simple path to begin. Step 1. Add. Don't subtract it and think about cutting things out. Think about adding in 1 cup of lentils in your soup, a handful of black beans in your salad, chickpeas in your curry tofu, in your stir-fry. Let these foods join your plate before you worry about what to remove. Step 2. Make it enjoyable. Food is joy. It should never feel like punishment. Try recipes that make you smile. Spices. Fresh herbs. Cook with your partner, your grandchild, your neighbor. Make it a ritual of care. Step 3. Be patient with your body. Change is slow, but healing is certain. Every week you nourish yourself better. Your body thanks you in deeper sleep, in calmer joints, and clearer thinking. And if you're someone who thinks food is just fuel, let's reframe that. Food is memory. It's the scent of your mother's kitchen. It's the sound of laughter at a dinner table. It's the warmth of a shared bowl between generations. You deserve food that gives you strength and joy at this point. Maybe you're not just thinking about adding years to your life. Maybe you're imagining what those years could feel like. Taking that dream trip at 80, dancing at your grandson's wedding, planting a garden in spring, and harvesting it in the fall. Living without pain. Living with purpose. That's not a fantasy. That's what thousands of people around the world are already doing with the simplest, most humble foods at the heart of their plates. Let me close with a vision. You're 85. The sun is shining. You're stirring a pot of soup made with red lentils, tomatoes, turmeric, and fresh herbs. Your grandchild walks in, takes a spoonful, and says, "Grandma, this is amazing." "What's in it?" You smile and say, "Just a few beans." They've kept me going this long. That's legacy. That's love. And it starts now with one choice. Final message: you don't need a miracle. You just need a bowl of beans, because small changes add up to big life. Because 10 more years is not just possible, it's within reach. So today, make the choice to nourish yourself like your future depends on it, because it does. If this video touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you love. Subscribe for more simple changes that make a powerful difference after 60. In the comments, tell us, what's the one food you could start swapping today? From the team at Golden Wellbeing, your health is your legacy. Let's build it together.